to agenda item 6, which is ASDA Stores Ltd on pages 17 to 24. Martin, can you have a presentation, please?
This application was subject to a committee site visit on Tuesday. Planning permission is sought for the construction of 4 petrol pumps to accommodate 8 filling stations to Leech. The pumps will be fully automated, so there will be no kiosk or shop associated with the fuel dumps, with all payments being made automated at the pump. The proposal will require a reconfiguration of the car park and will result in a net reduction of 44 spaces, reducing from 315 to 271 spaces. The pumps will be located in the south-eastern corner of the site, close to the main entrance to the overall site entrance on WOODCHURCH ROAD. The nearest residential property is located on Ackers Road, which is located some 20 metres from the perimeter of the site. However, the nearest pump would be located some 45 metres away from that property. Given these distances and the conclusions of the noise impact assessments submitted to the application, it is considered that the proposal would not harm residential community. The proposal is also unlikely to result in significant traffic generation that would give rise to any highway safety issues. The reduction in car parking spaces can also be accommodated without resulting in any detrimental impacts to existing operations on site or to the adjacent highway network. The proposal will not increase retail activity at the site, and there will be no kiosk on site, and everything will be automated. The proposal is considered to be acceptable and is recommended for approval, and there is no petition or objection on this application.
Thank you, Matthew. Is there...
Sorry, no petition for the Ward Councillor.
Yes.
Sorry.
Is there a ward councillor that would like to speak on this? Stuart, could I ask you to come up to this microphone so you don't actually have one down there? If I could just ask you to state the name for the record, please.
Not a word.
Just put your microphone up close to you.
We know when you start speaking.
Thanks, Chair, for the opportunity to address this meeting and make the case as to why I'm supporting local residents who feel this application should be refused. I would also like to thank ASDA for giving myself and residents opportunities to meet and discuss the application. The Cllr strategy local plan for retail and leisure study, which was approved by Canvas Areas, makes for interesting reading. Across Wirral, the discount supermarkets now account for just over a quarter of convenience spending and have grown at the expense of 54, including ASDA. When it comes to market share, as the WOODCHURCH has a market share of 5.1%, which in terms of market share is 4th among all supermarkets. As it tells us that our stores are staffed, unstaffed, and are like to petrol station, they want to provide an extra service to customers. They tell us that they don't make much money out of petrol. I would argue, rather, that this is about protecting the market share in the face of effect from discount chains, which is all well and good, and I accept that as primary duties to shareholders. However, this must be not at the expense of local residents, neighbours of ASDA. The junction of WOODCHURCH ROAD with Ackers Road and ASDA is already congested. I have witnessed queuing traffic waiting to enter store on a regular basis. Neighbouring stores are junction-free on 153, leading to a mixed motorway store traffic in Lane 1 and WOODCHURCH Road, and the inevitable appearances of vehicles wanting to go on the motorway, overtaking traffic in Lane 1 and foot across 2 lanes to access the motorway. This is also important to note that buses get caught into congestion causing delays to bus passengers. I suspect by opening the petrol station site, this congestion will be getting worse. As the committee will be aware, there's also been an issue of scramble lights across possibilities had in recent times. I received dreaded top photographs from the light causing distress in WOODCHURCH. The committee will also be aware that this application is for an unstaffed petrol station. As I told myself and residents that the petrol station will be monitored from within the store. I would ask the committee consider these key questions before coming to a decision. How can ASDA guarantee that someone on a scramble light will be to buy petrol may be with a prepaid credit card, which I've done a bit of research on, and adopted 3 products proposing as a 13-year-old. Our plans to guarantee that the petrol station will be sufficiently monitored to enable schools, ensure that age and petrol container restrictions are adhered to, especially the detention of monitoring staff based on someone acting suspiciously within the store or if there's instances in the store. I will ask to guarantee the safety of local residents, customers and staff in the event of an emergency. As those members who attend the site visit will testify, the store is some distance from the petrol station. How quickly can staff respond to an emergency at the petrol station? I would also like to read the following points from the Red Guide, which was published by the Petrol Enforcement Liaison Group, which I found via the Health and Safety Executive website. And the full title of the document is Petrol Filling Station's Guidance on Managing the Risks of Fire and Explosion. And this is in relation to access to the national site for tankers making deliveries. The first point is, it is important, and these are the left card quotes from the sky, it is important that the driver can move the tanker onto and around the site as easily as possible. The likelihood of an incident decreases if the driver has to make difficult maneuvers or drive close obstacles or other vehicles. 2. Try and provide and maintain a clear and objective entry and exit routes at all times. But this is not possible to ensure that the route is clear when the tanker enters or leaves the site. In the event of a fire, the tanker needs to be able to leave the site quickly and safely. I trust that those members who attend the site visit will share my concerns regarding the design and position of the proposed petrol station and how this application complies with any of the local points. I would urge the committee to reject this application on the grounds of traffic and potential industry congestion, loss of amenity, and that's just not just the amenity of those residents who are as does immediate neighbours, and put access to petrol units and public safety.
Thank you. Okay, can I open this up to committee? Treena?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. My concern also is public safety. I don't know whether or not the development control monitoring towers, whether or not CCTV cameras will be in operation. I know that Merseyside Fire and Rescue have raised no objections to this and health and safety regs have been adhered to. But will there be CCTV cameras monitoring this? Because I know there was a case in Doncaster where a mum, although very well intended mother, was for some reason showing her son how to use a petrol pump, how to fill it up. Since then, petrol forecourts have been given regulations to, if there is an underage person, obviously going to be operating a pump, then they will be disabled by the CCTV camera route. And also, if there was a naked flame nearby the petrol station, also there would be an automatic disablement and emergency services would be called. So could you just give the assurance to the committee that there will be CCTV cameras in operation?
Thank you. Through you, Chair. If I just read you this note, it will probably explain that in a little bit more detail for you. So the petrol filling station is located within full visibility of the store, enabling distance monitoring by colleagues. CCTV, automatic number plate recognition cameras, not only provide monitoring of the petrol station, but also surveillance of the site. A high level of luminance is provided in the petrol station area by under canopy lighting, which will assist in prevention of antisocial behaviour. Analytical CCTV is linked to a remote monitoring site and also highlights suspicious behaviour. So the automated pumps will be subject to strict controls and CCTV oversight.
Okay, David?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I was one of the ones who went on the site visit the other day, and I've really got two major concerns. I do use that road probably about 3 times a week, and I know how congested it can become regularly and repeatedly at all times of the day and night for that matter. And my concern is that clearly the location of this proposed petrol station will be such that people will see it as their last opportunity to fill up with fuel before they join the motorway network. So it will certainly not just be people using ASDA who top up their car on the way out having called to collect groceries or whatever. So equally concerning, if I can use that word twice, is the monitoring of this particular facility. I've seen some horrible petrol fires in the past, and it's all very well the site being monitored from 200 yards away by somebody who might or might not be fully employed, unlikely to be fully employed, monitoring it by television. But even if there was to see an incident there, to get out there and go and stop what is being done, I would think is virtually impossible. If I can give another very brief example, they have a system, as many of you will know, at the Tesco Bidston Moss petrol station, where you put your card in, you can load up to £99 worth of fuel, and you get the authorisation for the card first, as I assume this will be, then you fill your card up with whatever you want, and you pay for the amount you've actually used. But in the last 2 weeks, I have seen, it's two actually now, another one yesterday, wagons turning up with large 20-gallon plastic containers and loading up 2 of them, putting them in the back of the car and driving off with it. And there was no attempt by anybody in the adjacent service facility to stop them doing it. Now, I think that's appalling. And I don't know whether the environmental officer Ken's got some concerns on that, but having been involved in the construction industry for many years, I know how appalling a petrol fire can be and how quickly it can arise just by somebody being inadvertently careless. And I'm concerned from both aspects, really, from the health and safety point of view and from the traffic point of view. So I will definitely be voting against this particular approval.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. Following the site visit over the week, I've received a number of inquiries about the safety precautions and the licensing arrangements. So I have made some further inquiries. The red guide that the council was going to refer to is the relevant guidance and covers unmanned petrol stations. I was informed that the station will require a certificate from the which is Merseyside Fire and Rescue. They haven't raised any objections. Licensing conditions aren't attached to the certificate, but inspections by the licensing authority would look at compliance with the guide, including CCTV monitoring, the emergency shut-off. They would be looking for a risk assessment that ASDA should carry out. With regards, I did ask about response times. The regular, I think, talks about a reasonable time response. The officer I spoke to suggested this would probably be somebody from within the store. I also asked about monitoring the CCTV, whether it would be somebody full time. He wasn't able to answer that and explain that would be looked at during the inspection. The risk assessments. It's not an area that we're able to enforce because it is more enforcement, but the red guide that the council is going to refer to covers those main areas. I don't know if there's any other questions.
Thank you, Chair. I think that does answer some of the questions, but it doesn't really cover the potential for human error in terms of not responding rapidly enough to an incident. Petrol goes up in 10 seconds. It isn't as though somebody's going to be able to run 200 yards from the other side of the store to do whatever they might be able to do if there was a fire. I just find the whole thing just not viable in terms of it being a possible way of doing things. But that's my opinion. Others may have different opinions.
Thank you, Chair. I listened to Councillor Whittingham's presentation. I thought he made some very valid points, certainly in response to the site visit we carried out earlier this week. I'm a little bit, well, not perplexed, but in the report from officers, it makes reference to the fact that there will be a greaser on site at on the forecourt at busier times, and yet in the briefing note that we were supplied with by ASDA, by their senior communications manager on the 15th of July, there's no reference to a greaser, but there is reference to the fact this is fully automated and significantly more efficient for ASDA. Now, bearing in mind the points that Councillor Elderton has raised, the self-service at Tesco in Bidston has a staffed kiosk nearby. Now, I'm equally concerned by the opportunity for people who will perhaps not be following regulations to access petrol from this particular point. So far removed from the store that by the time that it was noticed and action was taken, it would be too late. And I'm also concerned by the growth of the traffic for the reasons that Councillor Elderton has raised. If it's not going to attract additional business for ASDA, I don't believe ASDA would be doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I also have concerns about this, and I attended the site visit too, which was very useful because it just highlights, this obviously, as we all know, is a very busy road and it's a very busy junction, and it is subject to congestion. And what really concerned me when I read the officer's report was the figures from the applicant about the maximum demand of their car park would increase as a result of this application, would increase from 84% to 98%. And at peak times, the number of spare car parking spaces would reduce to just 6. Okay, so we're moving from a situation where there's a fairly comfortable excess capacity of car parking spaces to one where there's virtually none at peak times. And it's not difficult to imagine, I think, a situation where there's if there's a run on petrol, if there's a run on milk, if there's a big sale at ASDA, where you go well over that 98% figure. So I'm very queasy about this in the sense that not just the pressure it puts on the junction itself, and the point has already been made that people will pop in here to fill up before they go to the motorway, so it will generate extra traffic at the junction. I'm also very concerned about the safety within the car park. If we start to go over this 98% figure and run into a situation where there's excess traffic within the car park, and we all know what tricky places car parks can be as well. And the fact that this is unmanned, I think, just heightens my concern about it. And I also, I'll definitely be voting against. I do have wording to support a refuse of the application, which I'm happy to bring forward once others have had their say.
Thanks, Pat. Steve?
Well, yeah, I had similar concerns before I went on site visit. We had the highway engineer who we sort of interrogated on the site, and I asked, are there any special measures being put together to cope with this? And the general consent, the general opinion was, just paraphrasing, was that it would be something extra that the store offers to maintain its current success and market. So my view is, in planning terms, do we look at these type of superstores and what do we expect to see? Well, quite occasionally, I can name at least 3 off the top of my head, where there's a superstore and adjacent or part of the complex is a petrol station. I don't think it's for us as a planning committee, because I don't think there's a planning rule about staff or unstaffed premises that would suit that. And there are other authorities that would look after the safety aspect. So do we expect on that sort of site, large superstore site, it to be able to offer its customers the petrol? In terms of location and distance from premises, I was brought up in the old days where there was a petrol station every 5 yards, and they were literally cheap by jowl to houses. I think one Park North, that's our car show. That was the way it was. Now petrol stations are now tend to be sort of these types. So I'm trying to think of it from the aspect of what else would it bring. Well, it would certainly bring security to that site if we're going to invest in a petrol station on the site and the jobs on that site. And there's an extremely competitive market. Competition isn't our planning issue, but job creation and the ability to maintain jobs is certainly an aspect. So at the moment, unless I haven't heard any reasons for refusal, I'm going to take the word of the engineer that the traffic can be coped with. I'm going to take the word of the fire authority, who are saying it can be run safely without danger. And I'm going to probably, unless someone gives really good reasons that can change my mind, support what is a successful business and is a very good supplier of local employment. So I'm mindful in planning terms to see very, very, very difficult reasons for objection. Haven't had evidence from the 2 main authorities that are in charge of the main concerns of the people who are speaking against, if that helps.
Thanks, Steve. Joe?
Thank you, Chair. I'm mindful to agree with Dave and Councillor Elderton on this. I use that road quite a lot, and I think we've seen the implications of the traffic when we were there actually, and that was supposedly a quiet day. To lose 44 parking spaces in there would be horrendous. used that shop quite a few times. At the moment, I'm sorry, I can't agree. Totally agree with David. I'll always be supporting this. And I'd like to hear what Councillor Cleary put a proposal on the table. I'd like to hear what that is.
Okay, I've got two more people that I'd like to speak first, so if we can go to Wendy first and I'll take them.
Thank you, Chair. Could you tell me exactly where the exits and entrances to the car park? I'm a little bit worried. I was on a site visit, and if there's only one exit, one entrance, how do you vacate if there's a big fire? And I'm just worried that the exit is very close to the petrol station itself.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Exit and entrance remain. Exit and entrance arrangements remain as they currently are. So you access the site and exit the site from WOODCHURCH ROAD here. So access, exit, petrol station or the petrol filling pumps would be here. And so anybody wanting to use the petrol pumps would come in here, use the pumps and then leave. So exit and entrance is on WOODCHURCH ROAD.
Phil?
Thank you, Chair, and sorry for being a little bit late. I've heard a lot of valid concerns around this potential petrol station, but I just wonder how many of those concerns are actual planning issues.
Through you, Chair. As Ken alluded to, the issues around health and safety are matters for the Health and Safety Executive and the licence that would be issued to them through the relevant authority. So safety issues would be looked at by the Health and Safety Executive and the fire, Riverside Fire Service. In terms of transport, Councillor Foulkes has already mentioned what the engineer spoke to on site on Tuesday. Unfortunately, he can't be here tonight. But in terms of transport and traffic, the site operates within capacity. The proposals have been modelled against national modelling techniques, and it's considered that the site fits within the parameters of those. And based on those modelling techniques, I'm advised by the engineer that there wouldn't be a significant increase in volumes of traffic. Essentially, the volumes of traffic would be using WOODCHURCH ROAD anyway, and what's more likely to happen is rather than people coming to the ASDA site specifically to use it for petrol, they're likely to be on WOODCHURCH ROAD and potentially would pull off to fill in rather than go there for a specific journey. But having said that, highway concerns and traffic concerns, congestion, they are valid planning considerations, but the safety aspects are not.
Thank you, Matthew. Stuart?
Thanks, Chair. I think it's been an interesting exchange, actually. I was sort of like, I wasn't sure what I was going to do when I came in to listen to it. My take is this, I think. Issues have been raised on traffic, and Stuart, as rightly says, there are congestion issues and some crazy views going on from second lane to the... And that's happening now, actually. So I don't think I'm convinced that it will get worse than it is. I think it's bad at the moment in terms of some of those movements, but I don't think this application, the refusal of this application, will make it better. It won't make it any worse. I can't imagine that it will be worse than it currently is. In terms of the capacity of the car park, I thought that was really a matter for us. I mean, if I go there and can't get a car park, I'll just go to the next one up, Sainsbury's, the next one, and I probably wouldn't miss going back to us. So that's their risk for their market share, sure. In terms of the health and safety, that's always the one, and I know it's not a planning matter and all the rest of it, but if it was going to vote against it, it wouldn't really be that it wasn't a planning matter. But in my experience, the fire authority aren't backward in coming forward. If they thought for 1 minute there would be an issue, they would have thrown an objection. They've nothing to lose, and everything to gain, in fact, by saying, no, I don't think we want to attend an emergency, it would be far too dangerous. I think on balance, frankly, the traffic arguments, whilst it's bad at the moment, refusing the applications and going away from the best, Pat's forward word, I assume it will be the same as the comments he made. But I'm not seeing, frankly, reasons to well, even though it doesn't overly, I must say that whether the reasons are strictly planning reasons, but I think, well, I must get that around clear some of the wins, but I think just looking at it, I can't see a good reason in my own mind. Most of the trips to the garage will be linked trips for the shoppers. That's what I would tend to do. I have some sympathy with this idea that it's the last stop for the motorway, but I can't see that adding to the amount of congestion that's already there. I don't know whether engineers can look at some of the routes that are currently taking place to see whether there's anything that can be done in terms of operating the second lane to the slip over routes, but I can't see that being linked to this particular plan application. That's my issue.
Okay, Wendy wants to speak on this as well. I've created quite a lot of debate this one.
Thank you so much, Chair. There are two sorts of congestion to my mind on that road. One is just because it's a very busy road. But as you drive down there, there are also people who are slowing down in order to turn into the ASDA. If you're turning into the ASDA car park at a busy time, and there are 6 empty spaces, you're going to be spending a lot of time looking around looking for them, and that's just going to congest and build back onto the road. So I really wish that Keith was here and I could ask him how they've modelled that and how they don't think that would cause an extra problem. Maybe Matthew could help me. Thanks, Ben.
Through you, Chair. Unfortunately, I'm not an engineer, so I'm not an expert in highways engineers matters, but I do know that this is a signal junction, so it's controlled by lines. The lines are set to control the direction of traffic on Woodchurch Road. So they're censored and they do detect when traffic starts to build up on Woodchurch Road and when traffic is starting to build up within the ASDA junction, and it changes the lights so that it directs the flow of traffic on Woodchurch Road and to and from ASDA as it's needed. So I don't know if that helps at all, but it is all automated and censored, so that it should limit congestion on that road as far as possible.
Thank you, Matthew. Pat.
Just to say, I think Wendy's point is very valid, and even if, as is indicated in the report, even if you didn't get an increase in traffic along the road, you're still getting an increase in the use of the junctions. You are putting extra pressure on that junction. I think that's a very valid point. I'm happy to move forward with the grounds for refusal unless anybody else wants to.
I don't think there's many more people to speak.
Right, so the development proposed is likely to result in an increased use of the site, which together with the loss of 44 parking spaces would be unsatisfactory and undesirable, having regard to the additional vehicular traffic generated, exacerbating local highway problems of congestion, particularly during peak hours of operation, which would result in a hazard for road users both along Woodchurch Road and within the site itself. The development proposed will therefore result in a source of unacceptable levels of traffic movements and congestion along an already busy road, which would be to the detriment of the amenities of the locality.
Thank you. Councillor Cleary, move that. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Ian. All those in favour of refusal of the application? Those against? Any abstentions? Somebody must have abstained. Look, can we do the count again?
You want the whole lot again?
Yes, please.
All those in favour of refusal?